Welcome aboard the E-Bar 5 Stage Lines and welcome to Tombstone. My name is Chris. I'm going to be your driver and narrator today. Out front we got Sam and Andy. They're going to be doing all the hard work for us. Tombstone got it started in 1879, just a small mining camp. There was barely 100 people here. After word got out about those silver strikes, Tombstone put over 1,000. They thought at one point Tombstone was growing so fast we were going to be as big as Tucson. Well, we kind of missed the mark on that. We hit about 5,000 for the Tombstone silver boom. Tombstone suffered two major fires. The first 5 years we did it. The first one was in 1881, right behind the Oriental School. The whiskey barrel blew up. That took out 25 buildings. That took about 5 months to rebuild. The second fire happened 6 months later, 1882. That started up behind the Grand Hotel, now big location. That took out almost every building in Tombstone, with the exception of the bird cage theater that never got touched. That took almost 8 months to rebuild. That's how Tombstone got the motto, the town can just survive. And over on the right-hand side where the Rush House is, that used to be known as Nellie Catson's boarding house back in the 1880s. Nellie Catson, she's a young Irish immigrant, came here in 1880. Nellie, she had the nickname here in town as the Angel of the Camp. She got that nickname because she never turned down a meal or a bed to any of the cowboys here in town, no matter how hard they got. Over on the left-hand side, you see Tombstone Indian Company #1. That was Tombstone's first volunteer fire department. That's 3 months shy of that first fire. And it was started by our first man, Mayor John Clark. That fire department was our volunteer fire department for over 135 years. Now, back in the 1880s, there was only a few ways you could get here to Tombstone. You could walk, you could ride a horse, you could take stagecoach. Now, stagecoach ride was in Tucson. Well, that took about 17 hours. There were about 15 stops along the way. The reason they stopped 15 times is they had to change the horses out every 22 miles. Tombstone didn't get its first railroad until 1890. In 1890, the Southern Pacific Railroad laid its tracks here in Tombstone. You can see the station over on the left-hand side. Now that railroad, that cut the time between here and Tucson in half. That connected us with El Paso, Southern California. Now the railroad in 1960, Southern Pacific, they decided that not enough traffic here in Tombstone, so they decided to pull their rails. When they pulled the rails, they donated the building back to the city here in Tombstone. The Tombstone Chamber of Commerce got a hold of it and turned it into a library. It's been that way ever since. Now turning right back onto 4th Street here, over on the right-hand side, we got the Rose Street Museum. Now that house, the world's largest Rose Street. That was started by a young Scottish couple immigrated here in 1882. Now they got a little homesick from Scotland, so they sent away with those rose clippings. Rose clippings survived the trip between Scotland and Tombstone. They watered it, grew it, grew to the largest ever. It is in the Guinness Book of World Records still to this day. And in the springtime when it blooms, boy, I tell you, you can smell those roses all over town. Now on the left-hand side, that large adobe building, that was one of the first freestanding adobe structures ever built here in Tombstone. That was built by a gentleman by the name of Pye Allen. That housed one of Tombstone's first banks. In later years, when the bank shut down, they turned it into a hospital. And up till the 1980s, we still had folks here in town that had been born there. Now over on the right-hand side across the street, we got our lead. Now that corner right there, that was known as Hatford's Corner. That's the corner that Doc Holliday met up with those folks right before the gunfire field kicked around. They walked down 4th Street there to Fremont to the west. We'll get back into that gunfight here in just a minute. Over on the right-hand side where that old-time photo studio is, back in the 1880s, that was known as the Can Cafe. That was home to the finest Chinese cuisine in the Southwest. That was owned and operated by a gentleman by the name of Long Street. He's a very well-known and respected businessman. man here in town by everybody. When he died in the late 1800s, he had one of those largest funerals in Tombstone history. Now, over on the right-hand side, we got the old K Corral. Now, despite everything that you've heard and seen on TV and in the movies, that gunfight did not take place at the old K Corral. It actually took place in a small alleyway right next to the corral, no more than 30 by 15 foot wide. It was a cold day, October 26, 1881. 2:30 in the afternoon. 30 gunshots rang out in 30 seconds, witnesses said. At the end of that 30 seconds, Tom and Frank McClary lay dead or dying on Fremont Street. Billy Clanton was shot dead in the alleyway. Morgan Earp was shot in the shoulders, and Virgil Earp had been shot in the right leg. And Doc Holliday, well, Doc, he just got crazy in the hip. Now, the only man left standing without a bullet hole in it, well, that was Wyatt Earp himself. Now, crossing over 3rd Street like we just did, back in the 1880s, I'd be welcoming you all to Chinatown. They called it Hoptown back in those days. It was home to over 300 migrant Chinese workers. Now, Chinatown ran a block to our right and a block to our left. It was run by a little lady by the name of China Mary. That's the little red house over there on the left. Now, nobody did nothing in this part of town without her knowledge or approval. If you wanted to hire one of the folks here in Chinatown, you had to go through marriage. If you wanted to pay one of those individuals, you paid China Mary, she paid them. See, she got a little finder's fee off the top before she gave anybody the money. Now, back in the 1960s, they were doing a little digging around in this RV park over on the right. They uncovered quite a bit of China Mary's antiquities. Now, you can see a lot of those artifacts over at the Tombstone Courthouse Museum still to this day. Now, we're turning left on 2nd here. You ought to look off the right-hand side of the coast, about 16 miles out. You're going to see a little mountain range out there. Now, those are the Dragoon Mountains. Now, that mountain range out there was used by Cochise and the Apache. Now, what they used that mountain range for was, well, kind of as a lookout. Now, what the Apache was looking for was dust trails created by the U.S. Cavalry out of Fort Huachuca, which is about 20 miles to our west. Now, that's how Cochise did. Most in the attack. Most of those battles Cochise would only use a handful of weapons. The cavalry, on the other hand, well, they weren't as lucky. They used anywhere from 10 to 15 men per battle. Now, when Cochise died, they took his body back up into those hills to a place called Cochise Stronghold. Now, nobody knows the exact location, but the Apache said that they buried him with his war horse, gold, silver, ammunition, and a rifle, so he could fight all those battles in the afterlife. Turning left on the Tombstone Street, once you make the turn, you're always going to be looking off the right-hand side to that little white picket fence. It's something that's sort of mark. That's something to be a telegraph wire pole, and that marks the location of Tombstone's first and oldest public link. I'm going to tell you a story about a man by the name of John East. And John and 5 of his buddies, they decided to go up to Bisbee. They were going to rob a general store of $3,000 worth of mining payroll. Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time until they got out there and found out that payroll wasn't there. So they started shooting up the place. Well, while they were doing all that shooting, they accidentally shot a young pregnant woman out on the street and killed her. And 5 men there with John, they got sentenced to hanging. That was over on the right next to the courthouse. John Ellis, he got sentenced to life of hard labor out of the territorial prison. Now, that verdict did not sit well with those folks up in Bisbee. They decided to take the law in their own hands. So they formed a mob. Now, that mob came down to Tombstone right up to the front door of the courthouse there on the right. That's where John was being held. That mob went in and told the jailer to kindly step aside, which he did. That mob went into the courthouse, pulled John out of the jail cell, took him down to the corner, and they strung him up. Now, it took John 20 minutes to die. At the end of that 20 minutes, they called in Dr. Goodfellow, who was also the county coroner. Now, Dr. Goodfellow, he had a little sense of humor to him. So on John's death certificate, he wrote that John had died of high-altitude asphyxiation. Now, Tombstone got his start in 1879 by a gentleman by the name of Edward Shepard. Ed was an Army scout. He was a fighter. He wasn't scouting for the military. He was off in those hills over the right. He knew about the rock formations up there at Little Silver. Well, the Swords Old Fort Pachuca, they told him he was out of his mind. Told him the only thing he was ever going to find up in those hills was renegade Apaches and his own tombstone. So in 1879, when he struck it rich, that's what he called the site with the tombstone. Before that, this whole area was known as Moose Flats. Mining history in town went from 1879 all the way up to 1930. In 1882, they hit the water table up in those hills, about 620-foot level. Well, that started to flood out all those mines. The mine owners got together, got pumps brought in out of San Francisco. It took quite a while for those pumps to arrive. They were being brought into town by a mule train. Once they arrived, they built a pump house up on the hill, started pumping out all that water. Mining operation went back into full swing, right up till 1930. In 1930, that pump house up on the hill, the ventilator had been burned down, was still the pretty good thing right. It wouldn't work for it. Mine owners decided it was too expensive for such to replace those pumps. They started shutting the mines down. Once the mine shut down, Tombstone's population fell from 5,000 down to 300 in a matter of weeks. Now, on March 18, 1882, Morgan and Earth were in fact Campbell Nancy's building taking in a game of pool. Now, a group of cowboys came down that back alleyway led by Frank Silver. They were looking for a little payback for that gunfight. Well, they spotted the Earth through the back door and started shooting at it. First couple shots, they missed wide by a mere inches. That last shot told that hit Morgan square in the back and killed him dead. After Morgan had been shot and killed, the Earps were taking his body back home to California. That's where his folks were. Wyatt escorted his body as far as Tucson. On the way up to Tucson, he found out that Ike Plant and Frank Silwell were waiting to ambush him at the Tucson rail yards. Wyatt got the drop on Frank, shot him with a double-barrel shotgun with a 6-shooter. They didn't know whether to bury Frank or sell him for scrap metal when that was over. He mechanic sheriff was really well known. This was one captain who worked for us. Now the Earps run the run after the territory. Burglars went up to Goldfield Cattle and decided to use that left arm. He became a bar manager. Wyatt went up to Alaska and did some mining over the street. In the 1920s, Wyatt was in Southern California. He produced unpaid business songs for the Warner Brothers Picture Studio. While he was there, he met a young stagehand by the name of Larry Morris. He was in there and helped Bob tell the stories about the old West. Well, Larry Morris, he ended up becoming John Wayne. John Wayne was very used to the blues music and big country of Little Coast. I told stories of Wyatt in the Coast. Doc Holliday, Rocky went up to Glenwood Springs, Colorado, where after a lifelong battle with tuberculosis, he died at the age of 36. Big Nose Katie Tell, Scott's girlfriend, he went up to Preston, Arizona. He died at the age of 90 years old, just a few days shy of her 91st birthday. Now, turning right back on down the street, y'all look over on the right-hand side. You can see the small corn restaurant franchise. Back in 1880, that was known as the Bucket of Blood Saloon. On December 11, 1881, 5.5 weeks after that gunfight at the OK Corral, a couple of them cowboys was up on that balcony. Now, they were looking for a little payback for that gunfight, and that's when they spotted burglars across the street between Oriental and the Golden Eagle Brewery. One of them fired off a double-barrel shotgun, hit the burglar on the left-hand side. Spun him around, but it never knocked him down. Now, Ike Plant was the one that got the blame for that shooting, but the only proof was the half of the sound of his hands up there. Doc Goodfellow got called in to take a look for his farm. He actually wanted to amputate. First, it wasn't happening. He ended up keeping it, but he did lose the use of it for the rest of his life. Now, over on the right-hand side, we chopped off Bird Cage Field. Now, that there is the original building left on this street from 1880. That was never touched by the fire of 1881 or 1882. So when you walk through their doors, you are walking 144 years back in history. Across the same doors, Europe, Platters, and every other cowboy that walked up there. Now they opened their doors up September 26, 1881. They had a 16-gun and knife fight in that building. 26 men, one woman lost their life in that building. They've got over 140 bullets still in that building to this day. And downstairs, you're going to see the poker room. Now that poker room was the size of the West's longest poker game. It lasted 8 years, 5 months, and 3 days straight. It was $1,000 to buy into that game. In today's money, that's over $30,000. You even had to have your name on a wait list if you wanted to. Now they had famous gamblers downstairs like Bat Masterson, Doc Holliday, Dolphin Bush, the founder of Van Bush Brewing Company, even George Hurst, famous mining and newspaper tycoon. Hope you enjoyed the ride on the E-Bar 5 today. Don't forget to miss it if you didn't know. If y'all got any questions when you come to a stop, we'll be more than happy to answer them for you. That's the way it was. It's all where it happened.
Chewy's was an odd thing. They blocked the name. You'll get the birds in the tree too. They're actual finches. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at all the
14
finches.
cents a dozen.
Oh, they're beautiful.
For
Look
eggs.
at all the finches.
That sign's a couple years old.
Look at the trunk flag.
See ya! And they're off.
See you next time.
So I did my 1 week meter read just to get an idea of what I'm using per week. And since I'm using a solar generator for all my computer and TV stuff, I'm not really using a lot of electric in here. 1 week, 8.5 kilowatt hours at 19 cents a kilowatt hour. Do the math on that. That is like $1.60 for a week. I have a feeling it's going to be more because they're going to do like a meter charge and all that stuff. Thanks for joining us today, and if you haven't yet, please click that subscribe button. It's totally free. It helps me, doesn't hurt anybody else. If you liked the video, click that like button. If you didn't like the video, click the like button. Thanks guys, have a great week coming up here.